What is up? Welcome to Workout Wednesday. Today's a pull session. I'm going to jump straight into it, starting with back, because usually if I train my biceps first or my arms first in a pull day, I never really get as good of a back workout in the second half. So instead, I'm going to train the bigger muscle groups first in all of my training sessions. So for my push day, it would be chest first. And then I know I can still train my arms equally as hard after I've trained back. So let's get straight into it. Nice little warm up. Let's chuck on the lifting straps and then we can do some good working weight. One thing to note is that when I'm doing this exercise, I'm really not trying to target lats. I know it's a lat pull down. I don't like it for lats. I like it for like upper back / rear delts. A little less rear delts, more so upper back, but there is still a significant amount of rear delt activation for it not to be classed as a synergist and for it to be classed as a main, prime mover in a movement. So let's put the weight up. And that was like 8 good reps. I went for like 2 or 3 partials at the end. So yeah, I like that. I'm hoping you can tell the angle I'm pulling at. So because I'm not pulling down to my hips, and because I'm pulling back and almost past, like adjacent to my body, I automatically will be targeting my upper back muscles as opposed to my lats. All right, let's do this last set on here and then we can go on to the first lat focused exercise of the day. Nice. Let's move on to the next exercise. Going on to the next exercise, we're gonna do a lat pullover. This is not an exercise I do commonly, if ever, to be honest. But I don't want it to be a situation where, I've missed out on this exercise that's so good, like I love it, but I haven't done it for years. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to be missing out on any gains. I'm just gonna do some light reps first, just to get a feeling for it, and then we'll do the working set. I do want to take this t-shirt off though. Don't worry, I've got something on underneath. All right, let's do this. Cool, nice. I feel like this might be something where my grip gives way, so I'm gonna chuck on the lifting straps just in case. So I don't wanna like get halfway through the set and my hands are slipping. I'd rather just play it safe. I mean, if I don't feel like I need it, and then next set I'll just not use them, I suppose. All right, if you're wondering how I'm gonna use these lifting straps, I'm literally just gonna wrap them around here and then hold the rope like you would a normal tricep rope. Just means it, you know, might not slip out my hand if it was to happen normally. Do you get what I mean? But I mean, I don't really need to explain myself too much. Let's just get into it. Come on, way too light. And I don't need these. I could feel that in the first rep. Not a chance. That took me to failure, almost, very almost. I like that, like a lot. I'm going to up it by 1. But see, this is what I mean really, like, if you're not sure if you like an exercise or not, or you think you don't, but you haven't tried it in years, you change a lot in a year. Even if you haven't tried the exercise in like 6 months, try it again, because a lot can happen in 6 months. And you might actually like it, so this is a prime example of that happening. But yeah, let's have a little rest and then we'll get back on that set. Right, we're ready. Let's do this last set. Well, that made me hit failure at like 8 reps with a couple extra, you know, reps pumped out, but holy shit. Before you go to the comments and say, oh my God, your form was shit that half of the set, I know, that's why I changed it, duh. But cool, that exercise is done. And let's move on to the final back exercise. So this final exercise is like the most stable rear delt fly I've ever seen. One of the PTs here is actually the guy with the blue jumper behind me. Just showed me how to do this because I saw him do it before. I was like, that looks sick, but I wasn't sure how to set it up. I didn't want to set it up incorrectly. That'd be like a waste of my time otherwise. Oh, that's so good. But I'm gonna try it with the foam roller, which is what he suggested, if you want a bit more of a stretch. So you'd have like the foam roller here. So, oh, that's gonna be so good. Okay, I'm gonna have a little rest before that, but then we'll do it. Okay, let's do this next set, but I'm gonna up it by 1 pin and just see what sort of feeling I can get with this. Oh shit, I wanted the foam roller. How am I going to put this on right now? Oh, okay, I'll manage it. Yeah, good enough. Oh, cool, lovely. Oh, that's good. Oh, feels so nice. That's so much harder. Why did I put it up? Well, I ended up doing like basically the whole set as lengthened partials. Not a major issue, as we all should know by now, but I would rather get some full range of motion with a bit of a emphasis on the stretch. That's generally what I'm going to opt for now. I think the main point comes down to the fact that if you don't want to miss out on any gains, you're probably better off just doing full range of motion with a stretch emphasis. If you haven't seen the new meta-analysis yet, take a look at it. I'll link it in the description. It is a preprint at the minute, but it's just worth looking at, because I think this whole debate on full range of motion and length and partials has sort of become futile now, because we just know that the stretched portion, or an emphasis on the stretch, is one of the most important portions. And that's, you know, that's been proven countless times, but there's no sort of research to say that the contraction part, so the contracted portion, is less important. So it's probably just worth thinking about and probably still applying full range of motion movements to your training, but just with a bit more emphasis on the stretch, I'd say. It's a very weird exercise in terms of how you select the weight you're going to use, because at the start, that was like, it felt obviously way too light. And with most exercises, I always feel like, oh, this is tough. Like, I know it's going to be a tough set, but with that, the fatigue sets in so quickly on my rear delts. It's like, it goes from really easy in the first sort of 4 sets, and reps, sorry. Then the last 4 reps, it's like really, really tough. I have to proper grind it out, which is a weird one. There's not many exercises like that, not with me anyway. So that's kind of it's kind of a weird one, but interesting to know, worth noting. So I'm going to do one more set of that, because I do not get enough rear delt stimulus in my week. So we'll do one more set, because that is a great exercise. And then we can move on to the biceps and forearms. Right, now's a great time to move on to biceps and forearms. Right, we're going to get cracking with biceps. Just do some standard dumbbell curls, nice and controlled first. Just going to pick up the 16s for a few nice and controlled reps, and then just see how we get on. Well, it seems like that's probably a good weight to use anyway. I think something worth noting when you're trying to emphasize the stretch, I think this is very applicable to dumbbell curls, or any curl, to be honest, when you're trying to target your biceps. If you feel like your tricep contracts, so for example, if I'm curling like this, and as you come down, your tricep contracts because your elbow is extended, you have taken tension off of the bicep, so you are not emphasizing the stretch. The whole point of stretch-mediated hypertrophy is to emphasize a stretch whilst the muscle is under load. And if you're forcing your arm into extension, that is not putting your bicep under load whilst being stretched. So you really want to control it when it comes down. And yes, you might get a bit of tricep contraction because it's controlling the extension of the elbow. But the whole idea is to control it, only come down to a very slight level of elbow flexion. So this is slight elbow flexion, that's extension, you don't want that. Slight elbow flexion, so where you would naturally have your elbows flexed and then come back up whilst keeping the tension on your bicep, not dropping the load at all. That's how you'll get benefits from the emphasized stretch. All right, let's do this next set and then hopefully you can, kind of see what I mean. So that set would be a great example of how to allow the stretch to be emphasized whilst reaping the benefits from SMH. So we are going to move on to the easy bar curl, if I can find some plates. I never remember what weight I'm supposed to do on here. As in, like, not that there's a socially acceptable supposed to do weight, but I mean like the weight I normally do. So I'm going to stick the 10s on and then make the most of my primal collars, because the clips here, as like most commercial gyms, are shit. Oh, and you can apply the same principle to this as well. This is an even bigger one, I think. You can tell a lot more with this exercise. But let's just actually turn it so you can see me. So you might actually be able to see, whilst I do this, that my rear tricep, not my rear tricep, my tricep, shouldn't be contracting too much. Hopefully you can actually see it. If you do see it, let me know in the comments. Oh, fuck. That was a good set. Okie dokie. Let's do this next set and then we'll do some forearm work because I'm gonna get some tension into the biceps. How I like to see training in terms of like weekly set volumes is if a muscle is being used as a prime mover, essentially I'm gonna give that muscle one credit, or you can just call it one set, I suppose. If the muscle is being used as a synergist, so a muscle that is helping the movement, but not being the prime mover in the movement, for example, your biceps in a chin-up. No, biceps in a lat pull-down, that's probably a better version. I would give the biceps then half a credit, or half a set for each set it did as a synergist. So synergists get half a set, prime movers get a whole set. So taking this session as an example, I've already done 2 exercises for biceps. Sorry, I will have done 2 after this set. So that means I've essentially done 4 sets. But because the biceps were a synergist in the lat pull down, that's another half set for each set I did, which is another whole set, essentially, which means in my mind, I've done 5 sets of biceps. Doesn't seem like a lot because I did 6 for back. But when you think about me going on to doing forearms, I'm going to be also using the biceps as, I mean, this is a bit of a grey area, but a synergist / prime mover. I'm gonna err on the side of caution and just call it a prime mover. That means I would have done another 2 lots of half sets for biceps, which is another whole set. So I've actually done equal amounts bicep work as I have back work because of how I apply synergists and prime movers to my weekly set volumes. I think that's a great example of how you can manage your weekly set volumes. If you want it broken down into even more depth, I would go into Dr. Milo Wolf, or Wolf Coaching on YouTube, his video with Dr. Mike Israel, and they speak about sort of weekly set volumes and things like that. So that's always a good video to watch if you need to start the explanation. But let's go on to this last set and then we'll do some forearms. And I mean like forearm focus. Let's put this back with some forearms. Okie dokie, and for my final exercise, in the form of forearms, we're gonna do some hammer curls with the big old 24 kg weights. This is like, what, 50 pounds in American terms? I think so, it's around that. Maybe a little bit more than 50. Just to put a bit more tension on the brachioradialis, which is this chunk. This is the chunk I usually try and target for training my forearms. People like to target the flexor carpi muscles, which is fine. It's your wrist flexors. Fine, whatever you want to do. But I find that this muscle tends to be my weaker point out of the 2. If it ever swaps, I will just start doing more wrist flexor work. But it tends to be very boring, in my opinion, wrist flexor work, because you kind of just sit there and do, you know, that stuff. You can get like a cable and do that, like that, flex your wrists and all that stuff. But I don't know, find it quite boring. But there are certain exercises that I do, like the pronated cable curl or pronated easy bar curl, to be fair, where you relax your wrist, which forces your wrist flexors to contract. So that's always good. Let's just do this last exercise. Oh. Right, well I started counting like mid-set, but I'm sure my counting was wrong. In my head, I had done 12 reps each arm. I don't think that was right though. I think that was miles off what I actually did. But hey ho, guys, look, I'm getting a bit of a black eye. I don't know if you can see, hang, I think it's a bit bright. Yeah, look, right there. Because when I was doing jiu-jitsu today, I pulled on an armbar, and the guy I armbarred released his arm so quick and extended it, that it smashed my eye. Was not ideal, but what can you do? I submitted the guy, so I'm happy with that. Let's do the last set, and then I'm looking forward to check out this pump. Okay, I couldn't do any more than that. Because I wish I had a camera view of my finger grip. as you can see, but it actually feels like my fingers are tearing apart. Let's check out the pump. I might actually have to just do it here. It doesn't seem like there's any more suitable spaces, so we can do the pump here. Why not? All right. Okay. Front lat spread all day. I can front lat spread again, kind of. Front double bicep. Rear double bicep. Front lat spread. I think that's it. I'm very happy with that. Oh. Right, well thanks you lot for watching. As always, if you've got any questions about things that I speak about in these videos, whether it's just my actual training routine, I've not particularly spoken about it, or more science-based things that I have spoken about, and I've spoken about them being applied to my training or things like that, drop it in the comments. I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm always seeing when the comments come up. And on that note, if you want to get notified every time I post videos, click the subscribe button, but then hit the notification bell as well, because then you'll get a ping every time I post, which is every Wednesday and Saturday at 5 PM British time. So you don't want to miss any of them. And if you like this style of video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. And yeah, I'll have to catch you in the next video. Peace.